Todd and Julie Chrisley admit to troubles adjusting to life after prison. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Before watching the video, please subscribe and like it. Todd and Julie Chrisley famously saw an early release from prison thanks to a presidential pardon. Since then, however, they've been sharing what their time was like behind bars with various outlets. In a recent share, the Chrisley Knows Best stars have made surprising claims about what it was like adjusting to the outside world since their release. Todd and Julie Chrisley recently talked about their current situation during their podcast. Todd and Julie Chrisley became known to fans through the USA Network series, Chrisley Knows Best. In 2022, however, the two were convicted of various charges, including tax evasion and bank fraud. This led to the couple getting sentenced to a combined 19 years behind bars. Back in May, however, the couple saw an early release thanks to a presidential pardon from President Donald Trump. Following their release, Todd and Julie have been sharing their story with various outlets. Recently, Todd and Julie talked about their release on their podcast series, Chrisley Confessions 2.0. During the conversation, they shared that they've actually had some difficulties adjusting to life in the outside world, despite their early release. Julie noted that she spoke with other women in her position. She shared, "I've actually talked to a few of the women that I was in prison with that are already home. And we all have this general consensus that it's kind of weird to even say it." Todd reassured her, "No, it's not weird. Life is rougher than prison life. I mean, that's a sad thing to say because it is so horrific, the conditions that you're there for, but that's from a physical standpoint. But from an emotional and psychological standpoint, it is harder dealing with day to day." The Chrisley Knows Best stars shared that the pardon still helped make their transition easier. Julie then highlighted how inmates have a lack of control in their lives during their time in prison. She shared, "There's very little you can do because you're in prison. And people told me this when I first got there. You can't live out there and in here at the same time because they'll literally run you crazy. And the longer you're there, the more removed you become to the world." The Chrisley Knows Best matriarch continued, noting that inmates eventually get accustomed to their new lives. She added, "The longer that people are away from their kids, as crazy as it sounds, because it's a double-edged sword, the easier it becomes because you get into your own routine." That said, the couple shared that they were grateful to get a pardon. Todd even noted how it made the transition easier than if they just finished their set time. He explained, "We didn't have to go to a halfway house. So, we don't have to answer to a probation officer. We're not limited as to where we can go and how we can move. So, I think we were thrown right back into the real world." Todd and Julie Chrisley, the stars of the once popular reality series Chrisley Knows Best, have opened up in a deeply personal way during a recent episode of their podcast, sharing raw and emotional details about their current situation. The couple, who are both serving time in federal prison for tax evasion and bank fraud, spoke candidly about how they are coping with life behind bars. The message was filled with emotion, vulnerability, and a hint of the humor that once made their show a hit with fans. Through a pre-recorded message shared on their podcast, they each reflected on the emotional toll the situation has taken on them and their family. Todd emphasized the importance of faith and staying mentally strong despite the harsh reality of prison life. He mentioned how every day feels like a battle, but one that they are facing with hope. He also talked about missing the simple moments with family, the laughter at the dinner table, and the connection that has been tested by distance and time. Julie echoed similar sentiments, revealing that her biggest struggle has been the separation from her children and the overwhelming quiet that follows each passing day. She said that while time moves forward, the emotional weight seems to stand still. The Chrisleys did not shy away from acknowledging their mistakes, though they stopped short of taking full responsibility. Instead, they focused more on what they've learned from the experience and how they plan to move forward once their sentences are served. Todd said that he has used this time to reflect, grow, and reset his priorities, describing the experience as both devastating and oddly clarifying. He spoke about personal redemption and hinted at plans to share more of their journey in the future. Fans of the couple have responded with a mix of support and skepticism. Some continue to stand by them, offering prayers and words of encouragement through social media. Others feel the couple still needs to be more accountable for their actions regardless of where people stand. The podcast episode has reignited public interest in the Chrisleys, with discussions unfolding across platforms about justice, redemption, and the blurred lines of celebrity influence. One of the most talked about moments was when Todd described hearing his daughter's voice on the phone and how it brought him to tears. He said that moment reminded him of what truly matters in life, not fame or money, but the people who wait for you to come home. Julie also shared that she finds comfort in reading letters from fans and supporters who continue to believe in their ability to overcome. The podcast episode marks one of the few times both Todd and Julie have publicly addressed their situation since entering prison. It serves as a reminder that while they may be behind bars, their story is far from over. As they continue to speak out from within the system, the world is still listening, whether with compassion, criticism, or curiosity. The Chrisleys remain a compelling part of the ongoing conversation about justice, family, and fame. The Chrisley Knows Best stars Todd and Julie Chrisley have shared a surprising update regarding their ongoing prison sentences, revealing that the recent partial pardon initiative has provided them with emotional relief and made their transition behind bars slightly easier. Although they remain incarcerated, the couple opened up during a special podcast segment, expressing gratitude for the attention their case has received in the broader conversation about justice reform. While the pardon did not erase their convictions, it helped them feel seen and offered a sense of hope at a time when they needed it most. Speaking through pre-arranged audio messages, Todd reflected on the psychological weight of their situation and how even the mention of a possible pardon brought comfort during a dark chapter. He stated that knowing people still care and that conversations are happening at the highest levels of government about cases like theirs makes each day just a little more bearable. Julie echoed his sentiment, revealing that she had experienced moments of hopelessness early in her sentence, but the news of the pardon gave her something she had been missing for months: a renewed sense of faith and purpose. The couple, who have long maintained their innocence, took the opportunity to speak not only about their own journey, but also about the countless individuals they have met who they believe deserve second chances. Todd specifically mentioned other inmates who have faced extreme sentences for nonviolent offenses, arguing that many are serving time not just for their crimes, but because they lacked the money or power to fight back. He emphasized that while he and Julie still have legal hurdles to clear, they feel fortunate to have a public platform that keeps their names and story in circulation. For supporters of the Chrisleys, the discussion around the pardon has reignited interest and compassion. Many fans have rallied behind the couple, believing they were targeted unfairly due to their fame. Others remain skeptical, pointing out that celebrity status often brings leniency that average citizens never experience. Regardless, the conversation has amplified attention toward issues of over-sentencing and uneven punishment in the American justice system. Julie shared that she now spends much of her time reading, reflecting, and praying, and that she has found strength in hearing about movements for clemency and prison reform. She said that every piece of good news outside the prison walls feels like a ray of sunlight breaking through the gloom. The mention of the pardon gave her a reason to keep going, to believe that maybe one day her story could change, and maybe others could benefit too. As their sentences continue, Todd and Julie remain vocal about using their experiences to advocate for change. They believe that while the road ahead remains uncertain, the recognition they received through the pardon discussion has not only uplifted their spirits, but has also strengthened their resolve to keep fighting for justice, reform, and personal redemption. Their journey is far from over, but they are no longer walking it without hope. Did you watch Todd and Julie Chrisley during their recent podcast episode? Make sure to come back to TV Shows Ace for all the latest reality TV and celebrity news. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.